Hi Scorpio, welcome to your Mercury retrograde reading. Mercury is going retrograde on October 30th and will remain in retrograde until November 20th. The reason I feel like this reading is important, it's kind of like we get a roadmap because we are a community of people who watch out for signs, for clarification, confirmation, and validation about different things going on in our lives. And during the retrograde, anything that Mercury governs might get a little bit wonky. So if we're in a brand new relationship, like 6 months old or something, and all of a sudden, everything's been going peachy and all of a sudden communication breaks down, we might think, oh, that's a sign. It's not really what I thought it was. When actually it's probably not a sign, it's just that Mercury went retrograde. So I've put an article down in the description below. Please make sure you read it so that you can be aware of how Mercury retrograde affects our day-to-day lives. In the meantime, we're going to go and say, God, guides, angels, archangels, and Holy Spirit, we thank you for providing us with a roadmap. We thank you for providing us with tools to be able to navigate the things that go on in our universe that sometimes we're not even aware of. We look for clear and concise messages, clarification, confirmation, and validation, and love, light, and prosperity as we look for the energies to navigate during the Mercury retrograde for Scorpio as it relates to health and wellness, family and friends, career and money, and love. Okay. In health and wellness, you're getting the third eye chakra. In family and friends, you're getting triumph. In career and money, you're getting trapped in fear. And in love, you're getting partnerships and alliances. Okay, Scorpio. Now we're going to ask for clarity, for clarification on what exactly about these energies we need to pay attention to. Okay? And while I'm shuffling, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribes, all that stuff. You've been really amazing. This channel will be 3 months old on October 5th, and I feel like we're going to hit 10,000 before that date, and I just want to tell you thank you. I mean, we're building a community of people who kind of think alike, and I'm excited about that. So if you have any ideas about how we can celebrate that 10,000 mark, please put it in the comments. Okay, God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you again for showing us the energies that we will be navigating during the Mercury retrograde and showing us how to navigate those energies as it relates to Mercury retrograde. We thank you for clear and concise messages, confirmation, clarification, and validation. Clarify for us the third eye chakra, triumph, trapped in fear, and partnerships and alliances. Okay, so in your health and wellness, with third eye chakra, you're getting 4 of water, Ace of air, and 6 of fire. Okay. In family and friendships, we're getting triumph clarified with 3 of water, the Hanged Man, and the 2 of earth. Okay, and in career and money, we had trapped in fear and we're getting temptation, 9 of water, and King of Fire. Okay, and in love, Scorpio, we have partnerships and alliances, and we're getting to clarify 6 of water, love, and Ace of water. Okay, so we're going to start at the beginning. Health and wellness. Now, whenever we ask about health and wellness, we're asking about body, mind, and spirit. Our physical health, our mental health, and our spiritual health. So with that said, we're starting out with the third eye chakra. This is where we get communications from spirit. They'll show us things. We'll have little visions, pictures, things to come. a lot of times that's how they communicate with me, with pictures. They show me pictures and things like that. So I feel like you're going to be questioning yourself during Mercury retrograde, and you probably do that anyway for some reason. Or during Mercury retrograde, you're going to feel like, is this real or is this Mercury retrograde? This is what they want to say about that. You have found your truth, Scorpio. You know who you are, and you know your ability to communicate. And I feel like this is telling you, you have grabbed that actual pearl of your true essence. You know that it's not like you're still waiting for communications to come in. It's not like you're focused on things and you haven't been able to tap in. You've done all that work and you've grabbed your essence, right? So they're saying that this is going to be this is going to be a thing for you during the retrograde, that you have done a lot of work. You've jumped out of this portal, right? You've been true to yourself. This is the Ace of Air. It's the equivalent of the Ace of Swords. So it's about truth and communication, the way we present ourselves in an intellectual, our own truth way. So you've jumped out of there, but during Mercury retrograde, feelings of inadequacy might creep back in. Like you might be shown a vision about, they might give you a vision about something beautiful that's about to take place in your life, and you might think, no, that's not really true. That's not me. Because our things tend to revisit us. Things tend to creep back in during the retrograde. Communications get a little bit wonky. Read that article. It's important. So whenever those things start creeping back in, this murkiness that you have released yourself from, when it begins to creep back in, they want you to focus on the victory, okay? This is the Six of Fire. This is the same as the Six of Wands, and it's about victory. It's about being able to move forward in spite of the contrast that you've had in your life. It's about being able to move forward in spite of, or even because of, the things that you've learned along the way, right? And it's about taking control. This balloon right here, if you look at this card real good, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balloons there, right? Hot air balloons. This is the only balloon that's carrying its own ship. And what they're saying is, remember that your ship is when some people wait for their ship to come in, right? You have walked into creating your own ship that came in. And you have done that by tapping in and by allowing the universe to communicate with you. And it looks like it's through your third eye chakra. So this is about that. It's about that victory. So they want you, when these thoughts start coming in, they want you to focus on how many times you got a vision and followed it, or a picture of something, and you followed it, and you followed the clue or the message or whatever it was, and it was accurate. So they're saying they are going to continue to be accurate with you. So whenever these feelings of inadequacy or the murkiness that you've released yourself from tend to creep back in, remember, you have jumped through this portal and you have already had some victories that you can fall back on and remind yourself. Okay, so yes, it's Mercury retrograde. Yes, this is communication, but it's accurate communication. It's coming from my guides. I can follow through on it. It's not too good to be true. Of course it's accurate because it's coming from the other side, okay? So yeah, don't back up in that. And why is that in health and wellness? Because, whenever we start doubting ourselves, then it plays with our mind, right? And then those thoughts that we allow to stay in our mind seep into our heart. And then, like the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and we create. Our words combined with our emotions, that's what brings manifestation into our life. So if we allow doubt to sit in our heart and to dwell in our heart. And then we start speaking it out of our mouth in spite of the great messages that we're getting through our third eye, because this is where obviously they're communicating with you at. But I really feel like it has to do with any kind of communication from the other side. So don't limit it to that. But it does speak about communication from your guides, your angels, your archangels. So don't allow that doubt to seep down into your heart, because then you're going to start speaking it. And those words combined with your emotions are going to cause more things to come into your space that cause you to doubt. Okay? In addition to that, there's a lot of other reasons that you don't want to have doubt or any other negative thing really dwelling in your heart, because it does cause physical limitations too. So family and friends, you're getting triumph. Okay? So it's like the triumph card is about moving forward. It's about moving forward at warp speed with this guy, right? It's the same as the Chariot. So he's moving forward. He's moving fast. See how his hair's flying? He's passionate about what he's doing, and there's all this light behind him. For me, that is the guides, the angels, the archangels, all that. And he's not letting any dust settle under his feet. He is moving fast. Okay, so what does this have to do with Mercury retrograde or with family and friends? I feel like you are on good footing with your family and friends, because you have been moving forward in an effort to let them know how much you love them, let them know how much you appreciate them, you value them, all that stuff. Because this card is all, passion, and it's about love, and it's about all those things. So this card right here is saying you've worked hard. You've worked hard to you've worked hard to maintain the balance and to come back in and reiterate for them the value that they have in your life, right? But this card right here shows that things might tend to slow down a little bit. Again, Mercury governs communication. So if communication starts getting wonky within those relationships that you've worked so hard to maintain. See this person right here? This is mind, body, and spirit, right? And this girl right here has a sigh on her face. It's like you worked hard. Maybe at one time things weren't balanced in your family and friends, but they have gotten that way because you, along with them, I'm sure, have been moving forward in making sure that y'all understand each other's value. And it's been a job, because for whatever reason, it's been a job, okay? So this card right here shows that things are going to slow down. Things are going to pause in that area, and it could have to do with Mercury retrograde because of communication. Communication breakdowns happen during Mercury retrograde. Cheryl, are you telling me that I'm looking forward to having problems with my family again? No, I'm telling you that Spirit is saying to be aware, okay? That if somebody says something and you hear it wrong, this card also wants you to look at it from a different perspective, right? The Hanged Man. Step back and look at things from a different angle. Look at things from the outside in instead of being caught up in it. And their advice is the Two of Earth. So the Two of Earth is about balance. And if you look, she's got one pentacle high in the air and one pentacle further down to the ground. And they're almost two different colors. This one's more brown. This one's more golden. And it's also the same color as this face. Okay? So when it comes to family and friends and communication, always take the higher road. Always take the higher road. And always take the road that is in line with who you are at your core and who your higher self is, and your guides and your angels and all that. Look to them. Don't be so quick to react or anything like that. Just realize what's going on, and it lasts till about November 20th. The effects could start as early as now. They could start dripping in, and they could last a little bit after November 20th. But yeah, so you've done a lot of work, and y'all have been moving forward at warp speed with love and passion for each other, family and friends. And it's because of some work that you've done. So whenever communications start to break down, it's not anybody backing up on their commitment to stay present in the relationships. It's just wonky because of Mercury retrograde. Okay, so keep your mind focused where it belongs during that time. And whenever I say where it belongs, I mean on the higher road, on your higher self, your guides, your angels, and allow yourself to step back and look at it from that perspective. That allows you to have more patience for what's going on in the situation. Okay, so career and money, we have trapped in fear. So this trapped in fear card with career and money is telling me a couple different things, that there's some kind of move you're wanting to make, possibly. You're aggravated about it, and during the Mercury retrograde period, those feelings could compound. This guy is not really trapped. He could crawl out of there. He's just not seeing the answer. And the reason he's not seeing the answer is because he's back here behind this wall, so the light can't reach him. And whenever I say that, if you look in my description, and I think I say something about, I'm excited to read for y'all, because we all do it. We all get caught up in our day-to-day doldrums that we forget to stay connected, right? We forget to allow ourselves to be open. And whenever we do that, when we allow fear and doubt and worry to settle into our heart, it's like it's almost like putting earplugs in, because we block any information that our guides are trying to give us, that God is trying to give us. So the fact that you're here means that you're conscious of that kind of thing. And so you're still looking for signs, even though you're not feeling like you're communicating, they're out there. So that's good. But this person right here is trapped, but he's trapped by his own doings, because he's back behind this wall. He could step off of this ledge and then be in that light, or he could crawl right out of there, right? It's false imprisonment. We do that to ourselves. So this is temptation. This says that you've overcome all of those types of things. The mind games that we play with ourselves, the self-sabotaging thoughts, the staying so busy that we forget to be connected, the staying so busy, that being so involved with our earthly surroundings, with the circumstances in our life, that we forget that we are not even a physical being. We're a spiritual being, and we're just here having a physical experience, and we get caught up in that. So I feel like that is either where you are or where you're about to, where you have the possibility of getting, as far as Mercury retrograde goes, and your career and your finances go. This is what they're asking you to look at, is that this situation is happening, or could possibly happen, because your wishes have not actually come into full fruition yet, to full fulfillment yet. So it's causing you to backtrack. It could, during Mercury retrograde, cause you to say, oh well, it's not, it doesn't really work, they don't really care, or whatever, or you just forget about them altogether and you keep trying to do it yourself, feel your own wishes, right? Their advice for you is to lead with your heart. Go back, revisit the wisdom that led you to that place, to that job or that business, whatever it is that you're doing. Revisit the wisdom or the guidance that you had whenever you went there, and revisit the reason that you're there. This King of Fire is the same as the King of Wands. So for me, wands are all about spiritual connection, inspired action, passionate happenings around the inspired action, and creativity, right? And all of that inspiration, passion, and creativity lives in our heart. So it's asking you to go back to your heart and remember the reason that you started, whatever it is you're doing, and focus on that. Let that be your focus, and instead of the things that are in your experience, because those things that are showing up in your experience are only a result of this or the possibility of this. So to avoid this during Mercury retrograde, keep your eyes focused on this. Keep your eyes focused on what your purpose was. Keep your eyes focused on the inspiration you got, on the guidance, the messages that you got. Keep your eyes focused on those things, and understand that things might get wonky during Mercury retrograde, but that's okay. That doesn't mean that that's your life. That's not a sign that you made a bad decision. That's just results of Mercury retrograde. So stay focused here and stay focused here. Okay. Love and romantic love. You're getting partnerships and alliances, right? So I feel like you're moving in a good direction with your partnerships, with your love relationships, or perhaps if you're not, you're wishing that you had that. And Mercury retrograde could try to come in. Not try to come in. It's not picking on you. It's just what it is. Mercury goes retrograde about once every quarter or so. But everything that it governs, whenever it doesn't, and it doesn't actually go backwards. I always thought retrograde meant it goes backwards, but it doesn't. It slows down to almost a stop, so the other planets are passing it up, and it just kind of looks like it's going backwards, but it's not really. But everything that it governs, because it kind of goes to sleep, everything that it governs kind of goes to sleep too, and that's communications, technology, and stuff like that. So whenever you see this, whenever I see this card, it's the same as the Three of Wands, and it's about reaching out, being outside of your comfort zone and stuff like that. So if you're in a new relationship, like I talked about earlier, you may feel like, okay, I thought everything was going great, but now all of a sudden, what is the deal? It's Mercury retrograde. It's not you, but it might put you out of your comfort zone a little bit. Or if you are meeting somebody new, same thing. It could be like totally and completely out of your comfort zone. So this is what they want you to remember, that you made a commitment to yourself, whether in this new relationship or this relationship that you've been in for a while, or in the idea of thinking about a new relationship. You made a commitment that you're ready to move into smoother waters as far as love goes, right? And they want you to remember that you made that commitment. They also want you to focus on this is the Lover's card in the traditional tarot, but in this card I love it so much because it does have the two columns, so it could be twin flames, right? But here's where her security is, and this is not male or female. This is just, I'm saying her because it's her. It could be either one, but this is where her security is, right here in her guidance. In the Chronicles of Narnia, this is representative of God or Jesus, right? So, and that's where she's getting her security, her understanding of who she is. And she's not going to lose who she is no matter what's going on in a relationship or outside of a relationship. She's solid in who she is and what her value is, right? And then that's the advice is to stay grounded in that. This is the Ace of Water, which is the same as the Ace of Cups. So what's happening is this little seahorse has gotten this little pearl. Remember, we talked about in the beginning, you overcame some stuff. You grabbed the idea that you were worthy of communicating with the universe and all that stuff. So you've grabbed that and you have embodied it. You've embodied the essence of your true self, and they're asking you to focus on that. Inside or outside of a relationship, a love relationship, it doesn't matter. You continue to focus on your worthiness. See how this pearl is at the base of this little seahorse. So it's right at like the tailbone, which is where your root chakra is. So this is telling me that some things may happen, like if you're in a new relationship that's been going great and all of a sudden things get wonky, it could be just triggers from an old past relationship or from something that happened long ago where you feel like it's happening again. I'm repeating a cycle, and they're asking you, hold on to yourself and be patient. because it's likely just Mercury retrograde. It's probably not a sign of that at all. Okay, so God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for this reading for Scorpio. I thank you that you care enough about us to let us use tools like tarot to find messages from you whenever we're not finding them in ourselves. And I thank you that that you've been clear and concise with these messages. Now we're looking for the PS. Show us the PS for Scorpio in this Mercury retrograde reading, please. Please show us the reading for Scorpio, the PS for Scorpio in this Mercury retrograde reading. We thank you again for love, light, and prosperity. Okay, so they're saying there's that card again, and it's got to do with the family and friends, right? To remember to balance and remember to keep your eyes focused on the higher road. Take the higher road wherever you can. Make it a conscious effort to take the high road. Also, in your trapped in fear is balance. Balance the same way in your trapped in the career and finance. That take the higher road. Things might get a little wonky. See how those little ships are a little wonky back there? Things might get a little wonky, but keep your eyes focused or keep your mind focused on the passion, the inspiration, whatever got you there in the first place, okay? And why you decide to take that in the first place. This is the Ten of Swords. It's those old things could tend to creep back up in Mercury retrograde. It's like they'll come in not on purpose to pick on you or anything like that, but they'll come in to maybe for you to finally put it to rest for the last time, because this is a 10, so it's about closure. So maybe it's going to creep back in, and whenever you realize it, you say, oh, I still have work to do, right? Because that's what happens. That's why whenever these things happen in our life, whenever we feel picked on, abandoned, left out, any of those negative feelings because of the way somebody treats us, that means that we still have work to do. That's all that means. It's not another person doing something to you. It's the way we receive it. It's people do stuff to us, but the way people treat us is more about who they are than who we are. So the way we receive it, the way we react to it or respond to it is what's important for our health and well-being. So if anything comes in to trigger you, just know that, okay, good. Thank you, universe, for showing me that I still have a little bit of work to do in this area. Okay. And look, there's your victory card. That was part of your health and wellness. Remind yourself. It's the same card. It's two different depictions. Remind yourself of everything that you've overcome and of your value, and remind yourself that the universe has your back. And the universe doesn't have your back, meaning that it doesn't have somebody else's back. It's not about who's better than the other. I hope if nothing else in all of my videos, I hope we all understand that. It's not about who's better than somebody else, but the universe has your back too. And if you choose to stand up for yourself, or to decide, if you choose to not allow yourself to be treated a certain way or anything like that, it's not because you're better than somebody else, but it's because you're valuable too. And they can live their life however they value their life, but you have every right to live your life how you value your life too. So that's what this is about. This is the victory. This is where she understands that. She has come into wholeness with her own purity and her own value, and she's walking through the streets in this parade with all those understandings, all those lessons that she's learned behind her. Okay? All right, Scorpio. That's your Mercury retrograde reading, and thank you so much for stopping in and letting me read for you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, have a super duper day. Bye.